Hello, everyone. Good day, wherever you're joining us from. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of the Outreachy Coffee Chat. And today we have awesome folks with us, Outreachy mentors. They, in their own capacity, have been giving back to the Outreachy program and also supporting diversity in tech so far. So it's an honor to have them join us today in this session. So, for our audience that are watching us, thank you so much for joining. And I hope you learn one or two things again today. So, before I bring up my guests, I just want to re-announce that the Outreach application for the December 2024 cohort starts today. And for the mentors, the application will be ending September 6th. And for interns, the application will be ending in 7 days' time. For new folks that are just joining us for the first time, Outreachy is a remote internship opportunity. We provide remote internship for folks that feel marginalized in the country they are living in tech. So the Outreachy program holds twice a year. We have the May cohort and we have the December cohort. So right now the May cohort is ongoing. It will be ending soon, and the application for the December cohort started already today. And in summary, the Outreachy application period is in three stages. We have the initial application period, we have the contribution period, and we have the final application period. So check our previous video on the application, the process, so that you can have better understanding of how it works. But today for this chat, we are going to be focusing on our mentoring community, our mentors, the pillars that they've been a great pillar to the Outreachy program. So let me bring on stage our mentors. Today we have Love and we have Yiga. Hi Yiga, your video is off. Hi Love, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Hi, Omotala. It's a pleasure to be here. Hi, everyone. Hi, Yiga.
Hi Yiga, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us today. You're muted if you're trying to speak.
Hi, Omotala. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. It's so
Awesome,
exciting to be here.
awesome. Awesome. We shouldn't go in without I need our audience to also do this. So we are going to be starting with introduction. You'll get to know our guest very well. But before we go into that, I just want to mention that if you're joining this chat to get insights from our mentors, previous mentors and current mentors on how their internship internship of now their mentorship has been so far. This is the right space to be. So if you have any questions why they're sharing their insights, right, you can put that in the comments. We also have other outreach organizers meant that have been past interns and past mentors that are also in the chat who are going to be answering the questions. So let us start with intro. I'll start with Yiga. So Yiga, would love to meet you. Who is Yiga? Where are you joining us from today? And tell us something interesting about you, especially in the open source ecosystem. Yeah. I think there is a lag.
Okay. Okay. So, hi, everyone. My name is Yiga. My full name is Yigakpoa, but you can call me Yiga. I was once an Outreachy intern, right? I'm currently a mentor with the OPIA community. I lead the global marketing team. I also lead the translations team, Nigerian Pidgin translations team. And I also lead the Internships team.
Okay, I think there is a lag on Yiga's end. Love, can you confirm that?
Yes, I can experience that. So,
Okay, okay. So hopefully you guys will be able to join us back. It's fine. It's remote stuff, so we understand things like this happen. So let's move on with Love. Hi, Love. How are you doing? So I think you should take up the introduction from where you got stuff from your own side of things. Thank you.
Sure, no problem. Hi again, Omotala. So, my name is Love Otudor. I am an Android developer and technical writer. I myself also I was an Outreachy intern. I think in the December 2021 to March 2022, and ever since then, I was an intern at Odike X, where I got to update community. I have been contributing to the community as well, and I have been mentoring ever since, and it's been an awesome experience. Currently, I work as at Front End Labs as an Android engineer. I think that's it. And I also do some community management. I lead the WTM ambassador community here in Uyo, Uyo, Nigeria. Yeah, that's where I'm joining from. And yeah, I also lead the GDG community too here in Uyo. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. And I really love your introduction because, and that is also like a testimony of how the Outreachy internship has been empowering people. You started through the Outreachy internship, and now you said you are now a front end developer, right? So that means after the Outreachy internship, you got a job, and not just that, you are giving back to the community. So you tell us the full gist later during the course of
Sure.
this session. So let us go back to Yiga. Hi, Yiga. We lost you for some minutes.
Hi. I'm so sorry. Okay, so lovely introduction by Love, by the way. So yes,
Thank
my name is Yiga. I lead the marketing team at Opia. I lead the marketing team at Opia. I also lead the Nigerian Pidgin translations team. I contribute to other communities like Chaos, Client Africa, and so many other communities, right, within open source. I think the interesting thing about me is that I have grown from, I mean, I applied for Outreachy 3 times, and I have grown from there to becoming a leader, a maintainer in various communities. And I think that's just amazing. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
I I totally agree with you that it's amazing. Okay, so let me recap for those that didn't get it. You didn't just start as an outreachy intern, and you're not just giving back to the open source ecosystem through the outreachy program, but as well you are contributing to other open source community and projects. Awesome. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. I have a lot of questions for you as well. And I'm just going to start this way. Tell us more about your community, the community you are currently mentoring with. Tell us more about the community, the projects. Our audience would love to know.
Okay, so I'm guessing that's for me, right? Am I correct? Okay, so I am contributing to Opia. I lead the marketing team, and I also mentor for the enhancing brand awareness, digital brand awareness cohort, right? What we do at Opia is basically maths lessons. We create maths lessons, different contributors around the world globally create maths lessons for children in underprivileged communities around the world. So we make maths lessons available to people that can ordinarily not afford it. And it's such a good project because I remember that, growing up, I liked maths at a point, but it just became very hard. And the interesting thing about Opia is that you can download the app. The only time that you would that you would use the internet again to study is just when you download the app. So after the initial download, everything is there for you for free. And I think it's just amazing because in countries where there are underprivileged people, most of them would not have access to internet all the time to browse. And then with one device, you can reach, at least five students can learn and their progress will be tracked. So that's what we do at Opia. And yes, that's about it.
Awesome. Our audience will also assume with us that Opera is doing a lot of great impact out there. Okay, so I'm still coming back to you, Iga. So let's go to Love. Love, tell us more about your community. Tell us more about your project as well.
Okay, sure. Yes, my community is ODKX, and ODKX has a suite of tools that lets you build custom applications that would help gather, manage, visualize, and use data in resource constrained environments, just as you would in the office. So maybe it will help you, gather resources and data in probably places that have been affected by disasters or places that don't have access to a very strong internet connection, right? And this could range from different sectors like cold chain management to collection of mosquito and all of that, right? So collection of data on mosquito and all of that. So it's a very, very wide range. um so yes, and the interesting thing about ODKX is that it lets you, build these custom applications, right, without having to know programming languages like Java or Android Studio and all of that, right? With just basic JavaScript to like basic JavaScript knowledge, you can, customize the ODKX application to suit your needs. And so yeah, I think that's one of the interesting things about it. And yeah, so like I said, it eliminates the need for you to have any software engineering know-how, any core software engineering know-how. um for this Outreachy round, we had, I think, like three projects, but the one I'm currently mentoring on is create Android tests for ODKX Android tools. So we have, like I said, it's suite of tools. We have tables, we have survey. So what the interns are doing, they are creating tests to test the functionality of these tools. Yeah, so that's it.
Awesome. I love the fact that you added that your project eliminates the fact that you have to probably limit yourself to what everybody used to say, that you have to code before you can contribute to open source, or you have to code before you can be in tech. So this is also like an eye opener to applicants and even mentors, right? Um, Let me start with applicants own. So if you are planning to apply for the Outreachy program, you heard what Yiga said about our projects. You heard what Love mentioned about our projects. So which means Outreachy has varieties of projects for programmers, for technical documentation writers, for data scientists, researchers, and so on and so forth. So we have like varieties of projects. And also to mentors, right? If you're planning to mentor through Outreachy, this is now the time to start looking at um, different kind of projects, right? That interns can contribute to. So it doesn't have to, you don't have to restrict yourself to maybe the intern needs to like build an app or something. There are different parts of your project that Outreachy interns can actually come into. Okay, thank you so much for that, Love. And I'm starting with you again. So you mentioned that you started through the Outreachy project internship uh, program, right? And someone actually mentioned in the comments, they are really proud of your growth. So starting out as an intern, then continuing as a mentor, do you have like prior experience mentoring folks before joining Outreach as an intern? Tell us, we want to know.
Okay, I would say no. Although I've always loved, sharing knowledge about what I know. But prior to Outreachy, I didn't officially mentor anyone, right? Outreachy was like my first shot. And to be honest, I felt like, oh my God, I just finished my internship. How am I going to start mentoring people that were like me just 3 months ago? So yeah, so it was really a great opportunity, to get to mentor. And now I'm not just mentoring people, in the same geographical space or cultural backgrounds. I get to mentor people from various cultural backgrounds, and it's been a very, very rewarding experience. And I would say I've learned a lot as a person. And yeah.
So this is to current interns or folks that have finished their internship, or they're just even on the maybe let's say intermediate level. You don't have to be an expert or probably have an official how do they put it now, mentoring experience before you can be a mentor. In fact, you're going to do it well, as you can hear from our guests, right? So let's go to Yiga. Yiga, we want to hear your experience, the part of your experience as well. Do you have like an official experience? And it's okay if you have. We just want to know this from your own perspective.
Okay, so thank you, Omotala. Before, Outreachy was my first shot at contributing to open source, but it wasn't my first trial at getting into tech. So before now, I had already started, finding my way around getting into tech and all of that. So yes, I had mentored. When I say mentor, it sounds funny because I had mentored two people at least, showing them the ropes. How did I get here? What did I do? The first time was two people, and then we had to create a group. There were about four people, so I used to have meetings 4 plus 2, that's 6. So I used to have meetings with them Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. GMT +1. Yes. So yes, I had already done that. But the interesting part of it was when I started with Outreachy and with open source, it just made it better because I would always tell them, so you can see there's money here. You can always contribute to projects that you love, yada, yada, yada. So yes, it was just amazing.
Awesome. I really like the fact that like our two guests kind of have like different perspective to, let's say, the mentorship part of things. Diga mentioned that she has mentored like two folks, a couple of number of folks, and that is just to prove that you don't need that big experience. And from what Yiga also mentioned, it also proves that even if, just imagine you giving back to other people what you already know, or like just directing people in ways you have passed through before. Like Outreach provide opportunity for you not just to be, let's say, a community coordinator. You can come in as a mentor or even a co-mentor. A co-mentor means there is a mentor, but you are supporting the mentor in mentoring the intern. Do you understand? And I mentioned earlier that the outreach program has 3 stages. So you can even join as a co-mentor to help the mentors out during the contribution period, because during the contribution period, we used to have like inflow, a lot of number of applicants, right? And the mentors need as many as possible support that they can get. So, okay, let us go back to love. I think you've mentioned this, but for emphasis sake, I want to ask you this question. So after your internship, why did you decide to go back, like to give back to the community, to mentor in your community? And how, I know you've mentioned how your experience was, but I need you to like emphasize on it again. How was the experience for you? Did you meet the goals that you set for yourself? And if yes, how?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. That's an interesting one. So, after my outreach internship, I decided to mentor because I realized the value I had gotten from the internship itself. And during my internship, I also got mentored by a past intern, and I could relate to how there was a, should I say, more segue, because you know there's something, like getting to learn from someone that was in your shoes a few months ago could be more relatable. Do you understand? So she was able to really help me, and I was like, oh wow, I would want to help, like future interns this way. And also my community is an amazing, I interned with an amazing community, and I learned a lot, and there was still a lot more to learn because this project was really large. So I was like, oh no, like let me just, this will be an opportunity to keep learning and also help, the new interns coming in to ease it a bit, like help them to settle into the code base, understand things easily and all of that. And so yeah, that's basically why I mentored. I realized that it would be, a good way to give back to the community the same way it was given to me, having to, ask interns. And sometimes it could feel a bit more easy asking someone that was the past intern and all of that. Yes. So I really loved, and besides, I said I love, sharing knowledge about what I know. So it was really a great platform for me to explore and also to develop my skills as a person, as an individual, because, and also as a software engineer, because if you're able to share knowledge, if you're able to teach people what you know, it means you know it really well. Do you understand? So yeah, it also, and it also gave me like now the, like the, the mentoring itself. This was why I wanted to mentor. Now while mentoring, I learned a lot. I learned a lot more than I did in my internship. Like areas of the code I thought I did not quite understand, because I had to mentor now. Like it's looking at it the second time again with fresh eyes, new perspectives. Do you understand? It was a thorough learning of experience, right? And then sometimes you also get to learn from your interns too, right? They'll come with different perspective. I'm like, oh, I didn't think about it that way, and all of that. Yes. So it was a very, and then also it helped my communication skills. I got to learn how to collaborate with people from different parts of the world. No, I also learned how to present my, like my questions, or to answer questions more articulately. It was like, I would say it was a whole round learning experience for me, and I'm very grateful I had this opportunity to, to do this, to give back to the community, as well as improve myself as a developer and a person. I'm not sure, did I cover all the areas, or is there an area you want me to show more light on?
You covered it really well. You covered it really well. I see some questions in the chat. I can see some current interns and the Outreachy organize mentor advocates that answering those questions. And thank you so much. So any other questions, we'll answer that when we get to the Q&A session. So let us continue with Yiga. Tell us, do you have set goals? Why did you choose to mentor? And did you meet those goals that you set for yourself?
Okay, so my story is a very interesting one because I went through the process twice. And I felt that, I mean, the last time that I went through it and I got in was the time I wanted to give up, right? I was like, oh, this thing is just stressing me. It's a lot. And interestingly, for the time that I got into Outreachy, there were 7,000 people that applied, and Outreachy only took 69 of them. And that was just, whoa. Do you get what I mean? But at the same time, it told me I understood the struggle of going through all of this. I think that the first time that I tried to apply to Outreachy, I just went straight to, a few organizations. I loved the idea of what they were doing, and I went there. So I mean, we've seen a lot of people come in. Sometimes it's a very, very competitive process applying to Outreachy, because there's a lot of people and you're competing with people from around the world. It's a global competition, really global one. So it's tough and it can get to you, right? So, but I figured that this was my way of giving back to people, to say, hey, you can try one more time. Don't give up on yourself. And even when you don't get in, you need to still keep contributing to the community, because guess what? You're growing your portfolio. You're giving yourself more things to be added to your portfolio. And of course, the community, because you're contributing to open source is very warm and welcoming. So you're going to find yourself, meeting with different people that are always, always willing to help you in your journey. So it was just my way of giving back. And I think I enjoy it. I enjoy doing all of that stuff, I enjoy talking to people. And yes, of course, as soon as I did get in, I was mentoring the next time as well. So it was also very easy to see the back end of things, to see how things worked in the back end. What do we want as an organization? And, all of that stuff. And also, it gave me time to speak, right? Because as a lead in the community, I also had to speak to people. I had to speak to different. So I'd explain the community project as one that merges everything. Sorry about the noise in the background, but it's one that merges everything, that we try to do, because it's marketing. The major thing that you're trying to do is market OPIA, right? So it merges all of the work that different people need to do. So I find myself talking to different teams to say, hey, is there something that you need us to do? So it helped me as well to collaborate with a global team. And with OPIA, we have people from India, from the US, from Europe. So it just made my open source collaboration better with my mentees and for myself as well. So I was very happy to do it anytime. Thank you.
Awesome. I'm really glad to hear like the emphasis that you put on your experience. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, love, and Yiga. And I think you've answered while you were answering my question. you also answered some questions that we have by our audience. Outreachy is not just for some certain country or continent. Outreachy is for everybody. Outreachy is for a global program. So everybody is welcome to apply. Ensure to go through the eligibility rules to be sure that you are eligible. We have the May cohort, we have the December cohort. Please ensure to read the documentation on the Outreachy website and to be sure you're applying to the right course. And if you have applied before, just like Iga mentioned, and you didn't get in, please try to apply again. Iga mentioned that she got in after a third trial, or that was the third trial, right? So apply again. And for those that have already gotten into the internship or have gotten even other opportunity in the open source ecosystem, but they still want to give back to through the Outreachy program, you are welcome to apply as a mentor, as a community coordinator, or as a co-mentor. Your input goes a long way in helping Outreachy to actually achieve our goal. Okay, so we've been talking about the sweet things, the interesting things, and all of that. Let us talk about the challenges that comes with mentoring interns. The Outreachy internship has a lot of impact at them. The impact is actually speaking for itself. And we have folks apply to every part of our course, like every course, every session, every course that we have in a year, we have like a lot of applications. And because of these lots of applications, we also have like high number of applicants during the contribution period, which is a good thing. I want you to tell me that part of things, because a lot of applicants will get to contribute to your projects during that period. You're going to get a lot of idea, impact, and stuff. But at the same time, on the mentors part of things, it can be a bit challenging. I want to hear about your experience, the challenging part of things, the number of interns that came to participate in your project or contribute to your project, how impactful was it, and what challenge did you face from that, and how were you able to like navigate this? Let's start with Siga.
Okay, thank you so much, Omotola. I think that I would not sugarcoat it by saying mentoring is easy. It's not easy because you have to give of yourself, you have to give of your time, you have to give of your intellect, right? And on top of that, you also have to carry the warmness that open source communities are known for. So even if you're having a bad day, I'm so sorry, but you're going to be super nice and super sweet to that person. Why? Because they're just starting their journey, and we all started somewhere, right? So one of the things that happened during the two times I mentored, I believe we had at least 100 people on our chats steadily asking us questions, steadily saying, oh, what can we do? Where can we get this? But I think that one of the good things about this is that you have to, as a community, get prepared before time. Ask yourself, what are the questions that might likely come up about this? Is my documentation easy to read? Is it legible enough? Can people find the links that they're looking for? And then if yes, of course, as it was mentioned before, one of the other ways that we tried to sort this out was having co-mentors come in during those periods to help us with replying to comments. Another key thing that I would like to say is that the fact that you are an intern or you're a contributor, right? During the contribution phase, the fact that you're a contributor doesn't mean that if you understand something, you cannot share with your fellow contributors. Remember that the key thing about contributing to open source is collaboration, not competition. So it's also very important to keep that in mind. Do not think that you're competing with anybody. I mean, there are some projects that have everything that they're doing open in the open on GitHub, right? And everyone can see what they're doing. But sometimes one of the things that mentors are looking out for is, can this person help somebody else, even if it's a competition? And that way, you're also easing the burden of the mentor. Do you get what I mean? So you're doing two things. You're helping the mentors and you're also helping fellow collaborators with yourself. So that puts you forward as somebody that can do things on their own. Remember that you're working remotely. So it puts a foot forward for you to say, hey, this person can actually think through tasks. They can do things on their own, and they're willing to help others in the events that happens. So those were some of the ways that, as a community personally, as a mentor, those were some of the things that I looked out for. Helping people collaborating. I'm sorry. Helping people
It's fine.
collaborating, and of course, just taking out time to rest, right? Taking out time to rest, scheduling chats. So, for example, Google Meet calls at a particular time for all the contributors, right? And ensuring that notes were taken down for people that did not make the call. Also, recording those sessions was also, yes. So, thank you so much. But that was how I navigated it. Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. That was a good, yes, we are not going to sugarcoat it. And at the same time, we understand and used to encourage interns. At the same time, we understand and we used to encourage interns. We used to encourage mentors to prioritize rest, to prioritize themselves, and that is why we are advocating for co-interns, mentors. You can come in during the mentorship period to as well co-mentor the intern. So that way, it's going to give or relieve the mentor a lot during that period. Okay, so let's hear from you, Love. Let's hear about your own experience during your mentorship period.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, it was, like I said, it was a great experience. And of course, there were some challenges. I would say one of the challenging moments in the internship is the collaboration, the contribution period, right? Where you have lots of, outreachy applicants, right, contributing to the project at the same time, right? Sometimes it could get overwhelming. And just like you guys said, right, having co-mentors, I was a co-mentor myself, so having co-mentors that help answer questions. And one thing that helped my community is because we use a Slack channel, so we had this general channel for outreachy applicants, and then we encouraged applicants to ask questions on the general channel and not via DM, so that if your question is asked by someone else, right, we wouldn't need to answer it again, right? You've already asked the question and your answer is already visible to everyone. So not people coming to the DMs and asking the same questions, and then you have to reply over and over again. So we encouraged our interns to be collaborative, just like Higa said, because it's open source, be collaborative, everything is open. Even when we were creating they were submitting their proposals, right? We encouraged that, okay, fine, everybody is, you're not sending your proposals via DMs. Your proposals is open for everyone to see, for people to learn from and improve from, right? And we encouraged, our interns to collaborate with each other, which is also a skill we look out for as mentors, because we want to, you're showing us that you are able to, like you guys said, collaborate. Even though it's a competitive, it's the competitive phase, right? You're able to collaborate, you're able to share knowledge of what you know, and you're able to help others, right? So yes, I think that really helped us as mentors. And another challenge we experienced was insufficient issues for interns to work on. So what we did was we had general tasks that interns would work on, which would give them a general understanding of the project. So every intern is supposed to do this particular task, so that there is not that fight or that struggle for task. And then when you're done with that task, then you can move on to contribute in other issues, right? So that really helped us. And yeah, we also encourage our interns to also contribute to people's pull requests. Maybe someone created a pull request, you could be like, oh, I think a better way to do this, like commenting on their pull request is also a contribution, right? Like telling them, oh, I think rather than doing it this way, I think this way would be better. That shows you're collaborating too. Yeah, so I think that's those were the two challenges. And then, okay, I would say for me, okay, during the internship proper, right, it's one of the challenges I faced as a mentor was time zones. I think there was a time we had an intern that was in a very, very weird time zone. So it was difficult for us to set our, our chat, like our stand up. So we all had to use, a platform where everybody would like tick the time you're available throughout the week so that we would see where everybody intersects, and then we select that time. But then it's been an amazing and rewarding experience. I would say for one myself, I think there was this intern I worked with, and I couldn't really. I don't think English was her L1, so, or her L2, right? It was difficult to understand. So sometimes I would have to like really, really like make sure I'm listening to be sure I understand what she's saying. And then when I'm speaking, I try to be very clear so that she could understand. But then, I mean, in a week or two, I was past that. It wasn't a challenge anymore. So that's it.
Awesome. I think I relate, not personally, but one of the Outreachy organizers as well. Because Outreachy is for everyone, and we always, our mentors really try their best to encourage and welcome everyone, regardless of your language, the language you can speak, or even the way you can write your English. Starting from the application period, Outreachy organizers, the Outreachy team, will not judge you based on the way you write your application. I mean, even when your English is not perfect, the Outreachy organizers would not use that to determine the state of your application. For example, one of the Outreachy organizers, Anna, they used to be, they passed through the Outreachy program as well as an intern, and how they've joined the Outreachy organizers. They are also one of the strong pillars of the Outreachy program. Um, it was their first time actually publicly participating and using English. I mean, speaking in English. And it was, they also mentioned, just like Love mentioned now, they also mentioned that their mentor was really supportive of them. So this is an encouragement for you thinking, oh, actually it's for everyone from around the globe. What if my intern or my applicants cannot speak English? There is always a way around it. Both the mentor and the intern just need to understand and know this and try to like help each other out. Thank you so much for sharing that. We also have some mentors and community coordinators in the comment section. Juliana, I can see you. Thank you so much for sharing your insights as well. We also have some mentors who have shared some insights with us. We are going to be showing that they share their experience and the challenges, how they overcome the challenges, and some awards. Okay, so let us talk about something interesting. And this is something I personally, as a community manager, used to look out for. I used to look out for my proudest moments. You know, when you are doing something, you set out a goal for yourself, and you're working towards achieving those, like the goal or those goals, right? Sometimes you just have to look back and say, oh, this is what has been done. Just like Outreach as an organization now, we look back and see the impact of our program, people starting as an intern, continuing as a mentor, giving back to other open source projects, getting a full-time job, getting other paid opportunities, and so on and so forth. So for you, Yiga and Love, I want you to tell us about your proudest moment. When was that, or what happened, or give us that scenario that happened that make you look back and say, I'm glad I actually mentor, or I'm glad I actually participated in this. Who would like to start first?
Okay. Okay, I think I'll just go first. Thank you again. I think that I have three of the people, well, yes, three of the people that I have mentored, they've gone ahead to take up leadership positions within OPIA, and I think that that is just something that is laudable. One of them was Emanuela. She is now the co-lead of the blog. No, she leads the blog team at OPIA and also co-leads the Nigerian Pidgin translations team at OPIA. And I'm seeing her email threads, and they're just amazing. The way that she handles everything. We have Comfort Iboko. She co-leads the global social media team, by the way. So when I'm saying, anything within the marketing team, it's global, right? So she co-leads the global social media team. We also have Rhoda Michael. She's currently still an intern. And with the way that she has been working, I nominated her for the PR and Arts Lead category section, and she's just been doing amazing. The team is popping up. They're having so many conversations on our Google chat, and it's just heartwarming to see that they're growing. Their careers are growing. They're making so much impact. You can see their KPIs being met without you having to chase them around. They love what they do, and I think for me that it's just incredibly gratifying for me, seeing that I not only went through this process, I did not only lead, but I also carried people along. So that is something that makes it, I just turn back and I'm like, oh, nice, you're doing great and all of that stuff. So I hope that they go ahead to achieve great things if you're listening to this anytime. And that's it for me. Thank you.
That's a really nice one. Nice one. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we are proud of you as well. Okay, let's hear from you, love.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, great one, Yiga. Yeah, I would say my proudest moment is, seeing the intern, begin their internship a bit, a bit not so confident in their skills, asking questions, and seeing them at the end of the internship, right? They are more confident about their skills. They can talk about what they have done, especially in their presentation and their work ethics. How they document their processes is clearer. Like you could evidently see growth. And I would say each of our interns, I think I reached out I had a chat with one of our interns from last year, and he was like, oh yes, he's currently working in the he's currently a mobile engineer, although prior to Outreachy he wasn't into the mobile sector, right? He was more of back end, but then contributing to ODKX after his internship, he moved fully to mobile development, and he's doing so well. He's even currently mentoring, and sometimes the interns ask questions and then I see him answer. I'm like, that's really nice. And yeah, and our current interns, I mean, we're rounding off this current internship round, and it's amazing to see, I remember, earlier on, would have calls and then it would run for a long time and sometimes overlap because of so many questions, so many things we have to try to like, teach them. And, one thing about my community is that we don't, we try as much as possible to teach them how to be lifelong learners and how to research for information themselves, right? So sometimes they might ask a question and we know the answers, but we are like just kind of giving them pointers. Okay, try to check this, try to check this out, so that they would learn after their internship how to solve problems, how to ask the right questions. Yeah, and I mean, we had a call, I think, a few hours ago, and you're like, okay, do you have any questions? You're like, oh no, I've got it. I'm like, oh, nice. Like the confidence is on another level. They know how to present themselves, talk about what they've done, and it's really amazing to see them grow like that. I mean, it's amazing. It's really rewarding, I would
Oh,
say. Yeah.
awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that as well. So we are going to be, so while I'm going to ask you like another question, and while you're answering, we're also going to be sharing some insight that some other mentors who could not join us today shared. We'll be sharing that on the screen as well. So if you're joining us or you're listening to this chat later, you can as well read that to get insights from their end. So we have the Wikimedia Project mentors share their insights. We are going to be sharing, that's Pablo and Caroline. We are going to be sharing the insight they shared with us. So the next question I have is actually for you, Love. I want you to tell us more about your projects. The Outreachy project mentoring projects, all outreach mentoring projects are actually in one way or the other impacting the society. You guys
Yeah.
mentioned a lot about the OPIA, so we want to hear about your um, project as well. And this time around, we want you to share with us like key improvements that you think participating in outreach, that's your community now, your project, participating in outreach program has actually helped the project to achieve. You can share from when you were an intern. You can also share when you were like now that you are a mentor. What are
Yeah.
some key improvements that participating in outreach actually help the project to achieve? Before you go on, this is just to like encourage mentors or other community projects that they are not sure of how participating in outreach can actually help them to improve their projects. We just want to share like insights into how the project is being improved in terms of the project itself and even the community. So over to you now, love.
Thank you very Thank you very much, Motala, for that question. Okay, like I said earlier, my project ODKX, we have a set of tools that help you collect data in resource constrained environments, right? And you can also manage and visualize this data. You can use ODKX off the box, and you can also customize it with little knowledge of that JavaScript. And of course, if you're a well-rounded software engineer, you can as well also fully customize the user interface of ODKX to suit your needs. And ODKX is used, it's used by the Red Cross, it's used by a lot of organizations, and also open source projects too, and communities too, right? And impact, as an intern, I would say writing tests, because as a I my internship project was to write tests for was to um refactor this test from using deprecated, like older testing framework, to use like more modern testing frameworks, right? And one thing this does is like it's ensuring that your application is actually, ODKX is functioning how it's supposed to. You're able to pick up bugs. Okay, this is not working as it was supposed to. This is, this needs improvement. And also, apart from that, during the contribution phase, you have the flexibility of contributing to the documentation. Our documentation has greatly improved from the contributions of our interns, right? And also applicants too, because you're looking at the documentation with fresh eyes now. So things that probably we could miss, or we think maybe it's simple enough because we've worked on this for a while. Yeah, an intern onboarding the first time would be like, oh, I'm asking questions. So how can I do this? How can I do that? And you're like, oh, I thought we covered that in the documentation. And then you realize that, okay, there is room to, like improve our documentation, which is part of some of the projects we have had. Our documentation has greatly improved. We have, more easy to understand, and it's easy to integrate it better, integrate ODKX. And I would also say our user interface, right? We have had interns contribute to our UI. I myself, during my contribution phase, I created issues around the ODKX tools, user interface, and user experience. And then, as a result of these issues you're seeing from applicants, right, outreach applicants and contributors, we had a project to like to refactor our UI, like to improve our UI, and that's currently ongoing. So we could see that our documentation is easy, it's more easier to understand. There's lots of improvement in our documentation. Our software itself, the code coverage has increased because we are writing, interns have been able to add new tests to ensure that ODKX is working as it should, and as well as pick up bugs and errors that could have probably escalated later on, right? But because of the test, you could easily point that out and figure it out. Yes. And then as well as the documentation, and of course user experience, and that's it. So it goes on and on, but yeah, I'd say that's it. We also even had an intern that created video tutorials for ODKX, like tutorials on how to video tutorials on YouTube on how you can get started with the KX, install this and that, and it's really helped. I would say mostly in a lot. The impact is really really visible in our documentation and how easy it is to get started with the tool. Yeah, I would say that. And then of course the tests that have been written is helping to validate that ODKX works as expected, and help curb out production bugs and all of that. Thank you.
Thank, thank you so much for trying so much. I like you really tried to summarize the lot of impact that have been made to the project. But thank you. We are running out of time. But Yiga, I really want you to share impacts that are contributing to the Outreachy program, or participating in the Outreachy program has actually given to the OPIA project as well. Hi, Yiga, are you there? Um, okay, I think Higa is not with us. All right, that's fine. Okay, so I just want to like summarize this before we answer like one or two questions that I can see in the comments. Thank you so much, Juliana, Tida, and the other Outreachy intern who are answering the questions. So the call for mentoring communities, the call for mentors is actually ongoing right now. Even if you are not sure of the we always encourage you to, we have, let me put it this way, we have like set guidelines. We have set some guidelines that is going to help you as a mentor, bringing your projects to the Outreachy program. So please go through the call for mentoring communities that we've put out there, read the guidelines, and if you have any question as a mentor, you can connect with our mentors advocate Hilda. I'm also going to attach the link to our, or reach out to the organizing team. We are going to answer any question that you have. Please bring your project to the Outreachy program so that our interns can contribute to it. We have heard from Love, we have heard from Yiga on how participating in the Outreachy program has actually helped their project, how it has helped them as an individual, as a mentor. And we've also read from Pablo, Caroline, and Juliana on how participating in the Outreachy program has actually helped them as well as an individual and even their projects. There is a lot of impact to be made when we come together for this course. So we are looking forward to your application. And for folks that are looking at, they don't have a project, but they are looking at volunteering or co-mentoring with other community on their projects, you can check the Outreachy website as well. You will see the list of participating community or projects for the December 2024 course. You can, when you view that list, you can reach out to any of this community and show your interest as well. I'm sure they will be happy to welcome you, especially the fact that they need you during the contribution period. They need you to come up with different projects, issues that the interns, the applicants can actually work. Don't limit yourself. Don't think you can't do it. You have heard it from Love. You have heard it from Giga. You can do it in ways you least expect, right? In ways you're not even thinking of. You can do it. You can give back in your own little way. Redirecting someone to the right issue to contribute to, redirecting someone to where to find a documentation, enhancing documentation, goes like a lot of other ways which have been shared, and many more ways you can contribute. So as we are rounding up, I'm not sure if I mixed the question. As a mentor now, so I think you should answer this question, Love. So let me rephrase the question. So someone is saying, as an applicant, I have participated in the contribution stage for the May 2024 cohort, but I didn't get into the internship. Now I want to apply again and be part of the December 2024 cohort.
Oh,
Will my contribution in the past cohort, will it determine or will it increase my possibility for me being selected in the December cohort? Do you understand that?
Yes, yes. I do understand. That's a very interesting question. Um, just like you got, of course, at previously, participated in Outreachy. I don't think it would affect you negatively in any way. Rather, I would even say positively, because you're more familiar with the project now. You know how to give, how to have more value, give more valuable contributions to the project, right? You would also be able to, you'll be in a better spot to help guide newcomers, new contributors, right? Which is also a great spotlight for you, to showing that you're able to communicate and you're able to to collaborate with your fellow contributors. I would say it will really, really give you a better footing, especially if you've contributed to the project before, because the mentors are more familiar with you. You yourself, you'll be able, like I said, you'll be able to give more valuable contributions this time around. You'll be able to guide others, which would help a lot, to showcase your skills and all of that. So yeah, I don't think I will say, I wouldn't say think, but from my experience, right, it actually gives you an edge. Yeah, over.
Thank you. You answered that perfectly. So, yes, it's just like you are going to the market to get something. You now know the store for this particular thing that you want to buy. The next time you come back, it's easier for you to navigate. And not just that, it's easier for you to even bring other people. You guys back. So it's easier for you to navigate and even help other people to navigate as well. So personally, I actually agree with what Love just said. It's going to even increase your contribution, which is what your mentor is actually looking for. So please apply and put in your best. Okay, so we have far. I really enjoyed this session. It's like we should not stop, but 1 hour has passed already. I don't want us to stop, but thank you so much, Love and Yiga, for joining this session. We really appreciate you. So, but before we go, please, what last words or what motivation would you like to tell people who are thinking about mentoring in the coming cohort, that's the December 2024 cohort? What would you like to tell them? Liga, if you are up now, you can speak. You're muted if you are trying to speak. You're muted. Okay, I think there is a lag. Okay, why I think there's a lag because I think she's hearing what I said earlier. Okay,
Yeah.
so there's a question in the chat, and I've addressed that. I said we are going to be our viewers are asking for the link to your community. That's the ODKS and the OPIA community. And I'm going to attach that to the description of this video, and also the links to Love and Yiga social platforms in case you want to connect with them, you want to learn more about their projects. So I will attach that link to the description once we end this live stream. Love, any last word from your end?
Okay, yes. Thank you, Motala. Yeah, I would say you should give it a try. I mean, you shouldn't. Outreachy would give you an opportunity for you to level up your skills. You should definitely give it a shot. This contribution, even if you don't get in, the contribution phase in itself will give you an avenue to learn a lot, right? Learn a lot from. That's why we encourage that you try to collaborate with your fellow outreach applicants in the contribution phase, right? To get to learn of each other and also build relationships and networks from people all around the world, because outreach is open to everyone. So I would say there is nothing to lose, right? Even if you don't get in, right? The contribution phase is already enough experience. And mind you, those contributions are open source. You would have those links as proof of work for future applications or whatever it is you want to do. Oh, I contributed to this project, I contributed to this other project, I've contributed in open source. And it will also give you a deep dive on how you can contribute to open source. And as well, be better, you get to work with other people, learn insights, know what it is like to work with a team of persons. So I would say just give it a shot. even if you don't feel like you're ready yet, I mean, it will definitely make you ready. At least you would know what it is. Yes, you would know what kind of skills it's like. You would know how to prepare better for the next, for the next internship round. And of course, you definitely leave with valuable skills. There is no how you would actively participate in Outreachy contribution during the contribution period actively and not learn a lot. You definitely would learn a lot. So I'll just tell you, give it a shot. If you're feeling not so confident, give it a shot. If you're feeling confident, great job. So we would, yeah, and I would say don't play down on yourself or your skills. Sometimes you're better than you think you are. So just give it a shot, and I'm sure you will be a rewarding experience, I would say. Thank you,
Awesome.
Omatola.
Awesome. So I can see Yiga is trying to pass like a last word to our audience. Yiga, I'm going to bring you on stage now. I know you've shared it, so if we can't have you, I'm just going to show that um as well. I'm just trying to do that. So you guys saying Outreach is an incredible opportunity to gain real world experience, to build your portfolio, and to connect with a global community of mentors and peers. Don't be afraid to apply. Even if you think you're not experienced enough, Outreach is designed to help you grow. Be curious, be proactive, and most importantly, be yourself. This is very important. Just be yourself and do you. This experience will be a stepping stone to a rewarding career in open source and beyond. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Yiga. I'm trying to display that. I'm trying so hard to display that. Uh, okay. Let me see if I can do that, Yiga. Thank you so much, love. Thank you so much, Yiga, for joining this session and for sharing your insights. And for our audience as well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you. And we hope and we are looking forward to your application. I'm trying to share you guys what. Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to drop the description as mentioned, the description to the link to their community. I'll drop that as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, love. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope to
Thank
see you again and again. We hope to see you again and again. Okay, thank you so much,
you.
everyone. Bye for now. Bye.
Bye.